This week's FOV, more household hacks to make your production better. Back in the old days when books were printed on paper, and before Kindle had backlit Paperwhite, we had book lights. Now you can find these guys probably in a drawer in your house. If not, you can still find them in some bookstores. And what you do with these on set is you take it, you clip it to your rails, and you use it to illuminate the follow focus marks on your camera rig. So if you're in a low light situation and you can't quite see the marks on that follow focus, just bend this puppy, point it right at it, and you'll hit that focus every time. I'm your Huckleberry. Don't forget your lighters, okay? You can light them up, stick them next to the end of the element of your lens, and you get a nice little film burn-in effect that is a cool little in-camera thing you can do super quick, super cheap. But be warned guys, last time I was out there, I heard fire still hurt.
Favorite household item? Aluminum foil. Makes a great reflector. It also makes a cool little cookie if you want to poke it, cut some holes in it, and soften or shape that light. It also drives your audio guy crazy, which I love to do.
Buy, buy, sell, buy. You got 1,000,001 uses for these things, right? And they're in your pocket right now, your cell phone. There's a ton of apps that can go on here to help any production get better. More on that in a different video. However, today, without the use of any other apps, there's a particularly good use for your cell phone, and that is continuity. So when you have a setup, pull out your camera, take a picture, and then you can make sure that the subsequent takes, everything is the same, the water level and glasses, etc., things like that. Another good use is before you do your setup, take a picture of your location. That way when you're breaking down, you can make sure that you leave it the way you found it. Always respect people's location.
Oh, hey, what's up guys? All right, you wanted a cool little film effect? Something on your lens to kind of mess it up and give it that Hollywood look? What about chapstick? Walgreens, $2. Smudge that stuff on there, do some cool stuff, give you some interesting flares and blooms. Take it to the next step is this nerd wax, which is actually what's keeping my glasses in place right now. And it's like the thicker, yellower kind of looks like a vintage lens. Pro tip, chapstick.
So, I don't know, let's get started. You have to get down on the ground a lot of times to get those low angle shots. And if you know you're gonna get all muddy, chances are you're not gonna get that shot. So, one of the first things, I almost always keep these in my bag. These are just like construction trash bags. And you can use this like a little tarp to set down on the ground if you gotta get down on your hands and knees or lay down. You can also throw all your camera gear if you get caught in a storm in here, wrap it up. You can make ponchos out of these. These construction trash bags are awesome, but you can't really use them as diffusion. So these little white kitchen style trash bags, they'll work well with diffusion. So what I've been carrying lately is one of these cheap $2 shower curtains from Walmart. This is a frosty style, and I write frosty right on it. The other ones are a little bit too opaque. This will get you, it'll make a nice tarp for you to get on the ground if you have to. You can use it as diffusion. You can, you know, cut a hole in it, throw it over as a poncho. These work pretty well, and they're very versatile. $2, how can you go wrong with a shower curtain? Now this is my favorite little vlogging slash keeping my camera tripod, but these are pretty expensive. So what do you do if you want to get your camera down low? Now this isn't a new trick, I didn't come up with this, but I have some lentils here, and some rice. The rice does work a lot better, and basically all you do is you put that in a Ziploc bag or in some sort of bag, and then you just set it on the ground. You can kind of make a little indentation here and set your camera in there. Great way to get a low angle shot. And when you're done, you can still make rice because, you know, you need it for sushi. Another way to get a low angle shot is with just a regular screwdriver. Now, if you have been on my channel before, you'll know that these gear ties, I should be sponsored by these people. I do so much stuff. I love these things. But I took a screwdriver and just a little point and shoot camera that I have, and I just use a gear tie to stick the camera on there. Now if you're getting a bunch of shots, you could use your phone or whatever, and you're traveling, you could just jam this in the ground on the side of a sidewalk in the dirt and position your camera using the gear tie, and you still can use your screwdriver for putting your plates on and off. You might not need one this big. This is just the one I grabbed. On the same vein, this is my phone, and I have a little holder on it with a tripod head, and I use this particular trick a bunch. This is a 1/4 bolt, and I just cut the head of it off, and I put that into this little ball head here. And what I do is I'll mount this in a grip head to hold my camera. If I'm doing like behind the scenes, I just mount it on a light stand or wherever I need to mount it. But I did this little trick one day where I took this, and I already had it made up, and I just jam it in the ground. I can use the ball head to position the camera. It works pretty darn well. And all it is just a bolt with the head cut off. Now the last one here I already covered on my channel for placing a light down low. But this is just a small piece of plywood that I drilled a 1/4 hole in, or a 3/8/16, either one. And you put a little carriage bolt through there and mount your tripod head on there. The nice thing about this is you can set it right on the ground. You can put your camera bag on here and get yourself a pretty darn low angle shot. Now if you cut your piece of plywood the right size, sometimes you can stick it in the spot where you would put like your iPad or something like that. And all you have to do is unscrew the tripod head off of there, and then all you have is this little board. Also helps protect your camera by having something that'll take the hits. I don't know, that's not a real good way to protect your camera, but this does work pretty well, and you wouldn't have to make the board that big. The platypus is the similar type of thing, and it's like crazy expensive. I think they're like 90 bucks. I would just take a piece of wood, cut it a little bit smaller than this maybe. You can take a strap, you can strap this to the tree and mount your camera. You can use this for a lot of different things. I might make a little more dedicated version of this in the future, but this was just a scrap I had laying in my garage. So what do you think? Are those useful items for getting low angle shots? Most of them are pretty lightweight, easy to carry in your bag. Especially would recommend that shower curtain and or the trash bags, and carrying some of those gear ties. Super easy to stick in your bag. If you haven't checked out my channel, go ahead and check that one out. I'm sure they'll put a link at the end. And if you dig the DIY lighting, I'd love to hear about it. If you're more interested in seeing what any of these lights that I got going on, how I made them, coming up fairly soon. Thanks guys for letting me hijack your channel. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to more awesome videos in the future. See ya.
So you said it couldn't be done. We said hold my adult beverage. More household hacks were right here in this video.
Shout out to DIYCameraGuy for the collab. He really helped us out on this one. So go check him out, like, subscribe, and ring the bell for him and for us. Come on back.